Pokemon Champions just might be a big deal. Hey, this is GatorX, and obviously, while you're watching this, Pokemon Champions is probably out now. I'm recording this Tuesday night, so now some people are actually playing it right now. You can download it online and access it. So, obviously, we had the trailer to talk about last week for this game, and it was interesting, and obviously I had some thoughts about it. I had a few things to say, you know, some potential positives, some potential negatives, but now Dad will actually be able to jump into the game, and I'm going to be streaming it today, the time you're watching this video. So we'll see how that goes. However, it's just been really interesting these last 2 days at least to kind of see a lot of the discussion around it. Specifically, a lot of people on YouTube just kind of getting really excited to jump back into Pokemon because, you know, while obviously competitive Pokemon has been around for a while, and while this game is going to have stuff beyond competitive, right, it's kind of neat to have this new means of doing a battle, a new means of like, this is how we're going to have our battles. It's going to have a separate presentation. It's going to be something different rather than like the main series game, and there's going to be potential for, you know, I don't know, updates or just, you know, new things, or just having it now finally a separate game. I think kind of, I don't want to say legitimizes it more as an esport, but it does kind of present it a bit more like how we see esports. And also because it is free to play, it is accessible on mobile devices, and on top of that, you know, the regular Nintendo Switch, not just the Switch 2, there's going to be a good amount of people who try out this game at the very least. And, you know, whether they stick with it, who knows? But I think that also is just really exciting to see that a good amount of content creators are also interested in it, because it's going to get more people, I don't want to say get more eyes on their channel, but basically, right? And it's going to be a new way of sharing that type of content. And yes, you know, while this is going to be the platform for competitive battling for VGC, there's more to it than just that. There's the casual ladders. Well, I think you can do single battles too, right? You should be able to. I don't know why that's coming into question, but basically it is a way to battle. And you know, you'll probably have to transfer your Pokemon in, you can recruit Pokemon, who knows. The point is that like it's being presented as this all encompassing kind of fun thing. There's, you know, the character customization, there's the draw of like using your favorite Pokemon for stuff, not just competitive, like, you know, sure, obviously hopping on ranked ladder, maybe, you know, play the good Pokemon, but the way I see it really is, I kind of see the potential for it to really do what Master Duel did for Yu-Gi-Oh! Those of you who know, I am a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creator as well. I've been in the Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube fandom for just about as long as I have Pokemon, if not longer. And I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of evolution to it. I will say that Master Duel, for all its flaws and how some people might dislike it, and I think, you know, maybe a good amount of complaints come from, you know, complaints for the game itself. The point is, you know, as flawed as Master Duel is, it is genuinely one of the best things that could have happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! I think. You know, I wouldn't make improvements here and there, but just the fact that like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so allergic to having an official online dueling simulator for so long, and then finally they released Master Duel, which is, you know, on all devices. It looks really nice. Still to this day, it's probably one of the best looking online TCGs when you compare it to other stuff, you know, like Pokemon TCG. Oh wait, the mic's this way, like Pokemon TCG Live. And while there is still, you know, its own weird format and the competitive aspect to it, and they do play that up, Master Duel really does have a lot going for it in terms of, again, presentation. Like I said, it's just probably the best looking card simulator there. The way that they're pushing it also as like, you know, sure, and competitive, but the way that they're like collaborating with other YouTubers for Master Duel events, the way that they're collaborating with, you know, some celebrities to mixed results, and just the way that it provided people a really nice looking way to continue to create content. And I think that's also one of the big things. You know, maybe I should have pulled up some video or some visual aid for Master Duel specifically, but the point is, Master Duel gave YouTubers this shiny new way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, while you can just play the rank stuff, you can try to, you know, grind your levels and whatnot, it still is just a cool way of like potentially opening packs, and just the way that people did different series. And I know that in Pokemon we already have stuff like that, of the challenges of, I don't know, open a pack and build my team and so on and so on. I think that Pokemon Champions just kind of gives you that platform a little better now that it's like out there. And I think, you know, kind of a big draw to it, to series like that, where it's like, hey, you know, we did this one random challenge, or this way of like, oh, we opened packs and we built decks and so on and so on, or oh, I'm playing through and trying to use a deck only built by packs, or oh, we're playing like this retro format and so on and so on. Like all that stuff That's your master duel, you know, character duels, right? It's just so much more accessible in something like Master Duel. And while you could always do that in Pokemon in like the main series games, I think that making it a bit more accessible in, say, something like Pokemon Champions is hopefully going to make some content. Like I said, I think definitely the main thing is going to be a lot of VGC YouTubers who are providing stuff like guides and teams, and I think those are going to be like extremely important resources. But I'm also looking at it from that sense because, you know, while I have played some VGC, you know, not competitively at all, but while I've played like some online ranked stuff for VGC, mostly back in like Gen 6 and 7, and I had fun, I don't know if that's what I want to do too much now. I don't know if I really want to touch that, but I see so much potential for content here. And, you know, maybe I'm not necessarily going to do so much content in this because I think that, you know, there's a whole thing of like, well, I think my channel is mostly like, the scripted retrospective kind of stuff. I don't know how much about like battle stuff fits on the main channel, and I don't know if I want to do a side channel, so on and so on. But the point is, I'm really excited to watch other people create a lot of content, and who knows, maybe I'll dip my toes into this and that if I can get like a, you know, a battle buddy to record some stuff with. Who knows? But I think that that's something that we really have potential for in Champions. I think that also in that sense where it's like it's extremely accessible to everyone. Yeah, sure, while definitely I think it's a cool and fun idea if people really try to learn some sort of competitive skills in this, try to like get into VGC, try to be like, hey, you know, I really wanted to sit down and actually build a team and actually learn the strategy to it and get better at this game. And I think that's great. I think it's also fun and like potentially fun and a great opportunity for a bunch of people to like look at this and jump in and say, hey, let me make a team of all whatever types of Pokemon. Let me do this challenge with my friend. Let me battle against my friend using only these types of Pokemon. And well, there were unofficial fan simulators for a long time. I think that this just having like the general accessibility and just the shiny coat of paint to it, right? And the fact that it's one of those things that when a game comes out and you see everybody playing it, you want to play it and you want to get in on that. And I think there's that community aspect to it as well. And also, you know, if some people want to try making content too for the first time, like starting some channel where it's like every week we do, you know, fun battle challenges, I would really love to see that. And I think also generally maybe for a long time, and even, you know, even still today, like I said, I think all the competitive aspect to it is great. And I really do hope that people dip their toes into that to see if that's something they like. But I really hope that people don't feel alienated from this game if like, oh, you know, I'm not into competitive battling, so that game isn't for me. Or, you know, oh, I don't want to learn VGC, so that's not for me. Oh, I just want to have fun in battle, so that game isn't for me. No. This has a potential for that. I think that, you know, you could play this game, you could probably never touch the online, and you could probably still have a fun time. If you got some friends that you want to do some quirky battles with, if you want to jump into the casual ladder, there's that too. And I'm really hoping that Pokemon also sees a potential in that and tries to do stuff like, hey, here's this challenge, or here's this so on and so on. Like, one thing I loved so much was when Pokemon would do stuff like this, having special theme battle events. And, you know, I'm looking this up now and seeing that there was even still some up until like 2021 or recently, just because I've been so out of this. But this was stuff that I loved. During Generation 6, they would do a lot more things like this, where they would have different themed online battle competitions and so on, where it's like, oh, use only Pokemon of this type or of this theme or from this selected list or so on and so on, or use a team and only Pikachu, or there needs to be a Pikachu in your team somewhere like that. Some of those battles. And I think too that having it as a separate thing in Champions and kind of really, if we all do really focus on that, I think because there is some responsibility on YouTubers as well to stick to be like, hey, look, there's this funny event going on, so on and so on, let's play in it, let's battle in it. So again, I think that if Pokemon does continue leaning more into that and does, you know, realize like, hey, it's not just a competitive thing. Yes, it is going to be the means through which we're going to be having our competitive battles, but there is a huge opportunity for casual, fun stuff. And so I really do hope that some YouTubers kind of recognize that and jump into it. And, you know, I'm not saying that like the VGC YouTubers won't, because obviously they're going to probably be playing this game every single day. So, and they're YouTubers, so they're going to think of stuff. But, you know, I'm just seeing the potential in it. The point is, I'm seeing the potential in Pokemon Champions to be something fun and cool. And like I said, I feel kind of bad too, because I almost didn't recognize this, or I almost didn't like see this initially, or I was like, hey, this is not for me. This is going to be a fun game I try out once, and you know, maybe I'll jump into battles, so on and so on, you know, who cares. And while I'm not going to be making a bunch of those videos about it, I'm a lot more invigorated for this. I think it's going to be really interesting too. So those are some of my thoughts about Pokemon Champions. Quick thoughts, like I said, I'm probably going to be streaming this game, or at least my first impressions of it, the day it comes out, so when this video is up. I don't know how much I'll really go into content about this game, or how often I'll stream it, but I am really interested to see where things go from here. I hope it continues to be sustainable, and I hope that it doesn't necessarily get neglected or anything. I think there's a good chance, obviously, that now that we're kind of all shifting over into this, that we're gonna treat it right and not like Pokemon TCG Live. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you enjoying the game so far? What do you think about it? Do you see some of the potential? What are features that you want to see added for Pokemon Champions? And if you want to stick around for more yapping videos like this, subscribe. This is GatorXL. I got the main channel, GatorX, and we're continuing with the usual retrospective stuff where you don't see my ugly mug that much anymore. But anyway, this is GatorX. Catch y'all later.